A Ukrainian man has been arrested in Italy for allegedly coordinating the 2022 Nord Stream pipeline's attack. This comes nearly 3 years after the bombing and speculation that Russia, even the U.S. in the case of reporter Seymour Hersh, could have orchestrated it, that sabotage. Now, for background, the undersea pipeline carries natural gas between Russia and Germany. It was blown up in 2022 in what looked like a coordinated attack. 3 out of 4 pipes were damaged in the massive explosion. No one took responsibility for the attacks.
Now, per reports, German officials confirmed Thursday that a former Ukrainian military officer was arrested in Italy on suspicion he is behind the entire sabotage. Serhike, the man in question, is suspected of leading a small group of divers who planted explosive devices on the pipelines in the Baltic Sea, per the prosecutor's office. According to the New York Times, the man will be extradited to Germany, where he will ultimately be tried. I remember this story because there was such a conversation about who did this, blaming the U.S. and so
blaming
much.
Russia. Initially, if you can go back, I've seen like a compilation of it. If you watch, every mainstream media person said Russia.
I knew you were
going to
go down this rabbit hole. There were so many people who could have been to blame, right?
And they were
it was
all
U.S., Poland.
Russia blow up
there were
its
so
own
many people that
pipeline.
could have been blamed.
You're right that there were so many people who could have been blamed, but Russia was blamed exhaustively and exclusively by the mainstream media for
Do you
weeks.
want us to have more sympathy for Russia, because you're seeming to sound like Trump right now? You like the meeting they had in Alaska. You want us to be so pleasant to Russia.
I just want
us to
the
give
truth.
them the land they
didn't
want.
They didn't blow up their own
Putin's
pipeline.
such a nice guy. Maybe they shouldn't have lost the Cold War.
So I get accused of being pro-Russian because I point out that obviously they didn't blow up their own pipeline?
No, I'm just saying, like you said, the mainstream media, it's like this. Okay, I'm glad we found the guy. Are we on the same page that we found the guy who committed the crime?
I'm saying it was reflexive anti-Russian sentiment to think for one moment that Russia blew up its own pipeline. Now, I will say that because I have neither reflexive pro-U.S. or anti-U.S. bias, then when the more pro-Russian people or the more contrarian independent people came in and said the U.S. did it, and we actually interviewed on Rising Seymour Hersh, who had this theory that it was the U.S., that I was skeptical of, and it turns out that was wrong too. It was, who I said it was all along, Ukraine. Who wants to blow up Russia's pipeline? Ukraine, the country that's at war with Russia.
Because they're trying to weaken Russia's leverage, right?
Yeah,
because they use that supply
they're at war with Russia
in Europe.
But
want. Also, it kind of takes away some of their power, right? They're like, oh, well, we'll take away this. It's like, well, if it's already messed up, now Ukraine has more power. So I understand why there are people over there trying to do this, but I think it's wrong. But I mean, we should have looked at all people. We shouldn't have just been blaming Russia. I mean, it makes no sense for Russia either. Like, they're making money from having this working.
But Lindsey, I'm not exaggerating. Every single person on television for weeks said it was Russia. From the people who brought you incontrovertible evidence of weapons of mass destruction, Russia blew up its own pipeline. And that looks pretty silly. And then, then the kind of very contrarian people, I like to listen to contrarian perspectives because oftentimes they get at kernels of truth, but they were like, oh yeah, the U.S. did it. I'm like, I don't think so. Nope, Ukraine did it. Mystery solved.
So
this is like the butler did it. Is the most obvious suspect did it.
My question is, do you want to hear from Zelensky about this? Do you want to hear what he has to say about this? Does this tie into what's happening right now between that trilateral meeting to you? Because I kind of...
No, because Russia already knows that Ukraine did it, and so do we, and so does everyone.
So do you think this empowers them to continue moving forward with their attacks constantly? This gives them like some credibility in those... And I'm not... Obviously, I don't think that you're, oh my gosh, pro-Russia. I think you're just looking at it plainly and like, okay, what
they're at war with Russia. Russia invaded them. So, I mean, blowing up the pipeline really was a blow to Russia and then to Germany.
Right.
So in a way, like if we had done it, it'd be like, well, then it's an attack on our NATO allies because this supplies them with energy.
Right.
So it would have been really weird for us to, because we're not at war with Germany, we're allied with Germany. It'd be so weird to think that we did it.
Right.
And no, Ukraine. And it was so weird to think that Russia wants to sell this gas to Germany.
Right.
So why would they blow it up?
But with Ukraine doing it, it's kind of like putting in a sanction.
Ukraine did it because you're attacking us.
Yeah, but it's like almost like a sanction that was mandated. Right? Okay, now you're not going to make money right now, Russia. Right? This is your first economic sanction that they did the illegal way. You know what I mean? Like that they went about. I think that we're going to have a conversation about this when we talk about what could possibly happen in that trilateral meeting. These are things that are going to come up if and when it ever does happen. This would be on the table to try to, I I think Putin
Putin
will
knows
back
they
up.
did it, so it's if he was not gonna, it's not like he's not reading this news and going, oh my God, the Ukrainians.
Well, yeah, I
he
don't
knows.
think that. Yeah.
He knew from the beginning that they did it. We probably knew that from the beginning. We just we let our media say stupid. Probably our actual intelligence officials are watching media. People say it's Russia. Going, yeah. Probably our intelligence officials leaked anonymously to them that the
Don't put
intelligence
out a conspiracy
community
theory, Robbie.
is
I was with
convinced
you.
it's
I was
Russia.
with you. I was with you.
Probably all those people are like, I'm hearing from intelligence sources saying they think it's Russia for sure.
But don't you want to know? Like, so when I was reading the story, they went. So you think about how the attack was done. The team of divers.
They swam down.
Yeah, they swam down, but they used fake IDs. They got fake boating licenses. They created a fake company. They rented the sailboat from the German port. Like, at which stage will you say, "Hey, red flag here"? That's what I'm trying to figure out, how they got to the point of like doing this when there were several things that were, I guess, could have been red flags that came up in the process to get to this point. It makes you kind of concerned of like
They just disguised themselves as innocent fisher folk.
and no one was checking that day. It was like, fine, here we are. I don't know.
It was within. Well, that was one of the I know some people did not think it was Ukraine initially because they said they thought it was beyond Ukraine's military capability to do that. But then, as the war progressed and Ukraine was able to pull off some more impressive attacks, including within
you admit
Russian
that?
territory.
Okay.
Do I admit what?
That Ukraine pulled off some impressive attacks, because you act like they just were getting demolished and had no chance. Why are they even fighting this war?
I'm just giving objective analysis of the. I'm not against that. No, they were able to prevent the conquest of their country. They performed more impressively.
So the
than
support
was
from
expected.
the U.S. and Europe really helped them in that conquest, and
I don't
they
think
were
there's any doubt that it
successful in many ways. So by pushing Russia back a bit, and Russia was alarmed at how much
I don't think
they
that's in
actually
doubt.
were able to push back. So then that would be rendered
I can't speak to
effective.
Russia's
yeah.
state of mind. I don't know
Well,
if
that
they're
would be.
alarmed,
I mean,
but-
from that. Objectively looking at it from you and I's eyes, that would be rendered as effective. No,
I never said that was in doubt.
because now you think that Ukraine should just give them everything that they want when they've been effective this long. Why would they just give in right now? That kind of goes against your stance that they
They're
should
about
just say.
to be overrun. They're running out of people, and even if we give them more weapons, there aren't going to be enough people to use the weapons.
They're running out of people.
They're running out of military-aged males to. So how effective they can be will be. I mean, they now have to conscript people outside the normal military age range. They are running out of people. They're a much smaller country, which is why I want. We got to settle now before the whole country's overrun.
Yeah, a ceasefire would be great in this instance. This would be a perfect way to start settling.
I agree. I support it. I want it to happen. I'm not.
Okay, Robby and I are on the same page here.
I
think we're unpacking that we're on the same
facts
page.
about who's going to win this war not today or tomorrow, but in the long run.
Yes.
That's why they got to make a deal.
Right.
And give Putin everything he wants. I mean, we can't give. He already has it. He has part of the country, so they have it. Are they going to give it back? And the answer is no. So the best deal they can get is one where there's a security guarantee for the rest of Ukraine.
And I really hope that next week, when we're here doing this show, that we can say that the meeting that Trump said is going to happen is actually going to happen. That would be nice, because here we are next Friday, from a week from last Friday when they met, and he's bombed Ukraine multiple times in between those meetings, and no ceasefire, no nothing.
Maybe updates on the progress of this war coming from mainstream media figures who confidently asserted it has to be Russia will be cast with a little bit of suspicion in the future. Next up, got a lot more to talk about on Rising. More after this.